Hello everyone. So till now we have seen how to create data frame using these four different types. Today we will see one more way of creation of data frame, that is using CSV file. Before going to that, let us see what is CSV file. You can see this example sample.csv file. CSV is a comma separated values. Let us open it in a text editor. You can see this sample.csv. This is a comma separated values file. Each value in the line will be separated by commas. In CSV file, each value in each row will be separated by commas. So this is called CSV file. Why this CSV file is important? Because you can open this CSV file in your Excel sheet and you can do your operations. Also, if you are having some XLS file, you can create it CSV. See, you can open it in Excel file. So if you are having some Excel file also, then you can convert it into CSV file easily, and then you can use it in your data frame object. You can create data frame object from that file. Each comma separated value will go to different columns. Roll number is in first column, name in second, and percentage in third column. Likewise, all the rows will be divided in different columns. Now let us begin our lecture on how to create data frames using CSV file. You know what is CSV file? So it is a table like structure. If you can see the CSV file, there are data using comma separated values. So I can open it in Excel file. This is a table like structure. So I can create the data frame using this file. So let us see how to create data frames using CSV file. There are two functions provided by Pandas. First is read CSV and second is to CSV. So you can read the CSV file and you can create your own data frame. If you are having some existing data frame, then you can convert that data frame to CSV file also. This is very important. You can make a data frame using CSV file and you can convert any data frame into CSV file. So we will load our CSV file into data frame and perform some operations. Then we will convert that file into CSV file again. So you can see the prototype pandas.readcsv. So we will call read CSV function using pandas library, then pandas.readcsv. Then there are different parameters. We will not learn all the parameters, we will learn only important parameters. So what important parameters are? I have already highlighted them. So these file or buffer, separator, delimiter, header, name, index column and d type. We will learn these different parameters, and other parameters are not important. You can explore it by your end. How you can explore them? You will go to Google and search read underscore CSV Python. So there will be python.pydata.org. Here you will find the documentation from Python. So on this page, each and every arguments of read CSV is explained. So you can go through it and you can explore these different parameters at your end. But for you only these parameters are important, which I am showing you. So to use read CSV function, we have to import pandas library. We will import pandas as PD and we will use PD in place of panda. So we will use pd.readcsv. Then this first parameter, file path or buffer, is used to get the file path or file name where the file is. So to create the data frame, we will write pd.readcsv, then for the parameter file or buffer, we will pass this our CSV file name. In our case, the CSV was sample.csv. In the folder also you can see sample.csv. The important thing to notice here is the file should be in the same folder where your code is residing. In my case, I am executing a code which is residing in the same directory. This is my code file, DataFrame using CSV file, and this is my CSV file. So both are in the same directory. So if both are in the same directory, then I can access it by its name directly. Otherwise, you will not be able to access it. I will just write parameter name, then equal to then my file name. Then let us execute this and print this. What is happening? So after printing, you can see this was my CSV file. So my first row was roll number, name, percentage. So my roll number, name and percentage has become my column names, and all the different rows has become rows of data frame, and all the rows having indexes 0, 1, 2, and likewise I am having n number of rows, then my indexes will be till n minus 1. So this is very important that the first row will become the column name and indexes will come by default. Fine. So if I want, I can give the file name directly, and if I don't give this parameter name also, then also my code will work. Let us execute it. So see, this is working. So this is called relative path. If my file CSV file is not in that folder, and if I want to access that file, how can I access? Using absolute path. So let us see what is absolute path. Absolute path means full path. So I am giving the full path. You can see another thing, you can see that I have given 2 backslash here. Why? Because this is an escaping sequence in Python. To print this escaping sequence, I have to give 2 escaping sequence. Let us see one example. If I print this, it will give me the error. And if I give this, then you can see it is printing. This is printing data frame also. Let us comment this. You can see this is printing 1 backward slash. If I give only 1 backward slash, then it is giving the error because it is a escaping sequence in Python. It will not print. It has some another meaning in Python. So Python use this operator for some other things also. So it is not printing. To print this operator, I have to give 2 forward slash. So everywhere I am giving 2 slash. Now let's see if it is creating my data frame or not. Yes, this is also creating my data frame. So I can access my CSV file from the absolute path. It is important that you use absolute path every time, so that if your code is moving to somewhere in some other directory, then also you can access your CSV file. Now let us see these parameters which I have discussed, some important parameters in read CSV file. So we will start with sap and delimiter. Both are same, both are used for same purpose. So you have seen that CSV file is having comma separated values. Let's assume if some file is not having comma separated values, it is having values which is separated by plus symbol. See, now I have created a file that is separated by plus symbol. In that case, if I want to create the data frame, how can I create? So I have changed it to plus symbol. Now let us save this file. So it is saved. So now create our data frame using same command. Let us execute this code. So you can see it is not separating values to different columns of data frame. Why? Because each value is not separated by commas, and the default value for comma for separator in read CSV is comma. So if your values are not separated by commas, then it will take it as single column. As you can see, all the values of my CSV file is in single column. So what can I do for this to make my data frame? What I will do, I will give separator as plus. Now let us execute my code. You can see it comes with 3 columns. Now it has separated my values. So it is important that if your CSV file or any other file which is not having CSV extension also, then you can create your data frame using it. If it is not separated by default comma, it is separated by plus, you can give plus, or any other symbol you can give. The same way the delimiter works. Delimiter is the delimit operator of different values in your file. So let us execute it. You can see it is separating each my CSV file values with plus. Let us try to give some other symbol has and see what happens. You can see it has taken in all the values in single column. That means I have to give the actual separator from which my values in my CSV file is separated. In this case, each value is separated by plus symbol, then I can give plus. So it will separate those values in different columns. I hope it is clear to you. Now let us move to some other parameter, that is header. So header is used if you want that in your CSV file, see this CSV file. Now let us change it to comma separated values again. So in my data frame, my first row is becoming my column names. If you want this third row, Baisali, should become your column name. The column name, first column name should be 2, and the second column name should be Baishali, and the third column name should be 82. So what I can do in this case, I will provide header. Header is equal to my row number. First row number is 0. This row, first row where my column is there, roll number name and percentage, is my 0th row number, and the second is row number 1. Likewise, these are the row numbers. So if I want my third row should become my column name, so I will give the header as 2. Now execute this code. You can see my header has become the second row, and all the items after that, it is important that all the items or all the rows after that has come into the data frame, and all the other rows has been ignored. All the other rows which was before that has been ignored. It is important that header, if I choose header is equal to 2, all the rows before 2, that is 0th row and first row, will be ignored. The default value of header is 0. 0 means every time the first row will become my column name. If I give as 1, then my first row will be ignored. The second row will become the column names, and then all the row will come into data frame. I can give header as a list of values. If I want 2 rows should become my column name, 0th row and the third row, then what I will do means 0th index row and second index row should become my column name. Then I will give a list and comma separated list values of different rows. Let us execute. You can see now my column name is roll number and 2 first column, second column is name Baisali, third column is percentage 82, and whatever the biggest column number is, biggest index number is there in header, all the rows after that will come into data frame. In this case you can see my third row is coming, my roll number 3 is coming because it is after roll number 2. Fine. So it is very important for you that you can give a list of rows to make it your header name, or you can give a single index also to make that row as index your column name, and all the rows after that only will come into your data frame. Now see one more parameter, names. Names will define the list of column names to use. So if you are making a data frame and if you don't want that default column names which are there in your CSV file should come, in my case this first row is coming as column name, and if I remove this row and then I save it, then by default what will my column name will be? 1 Adrija and 80 will my column name, and these two row will be my data frame values. Let us execute and try to make data frame. In the previous example also let us change. I will remove this header and execute it. You can see I have removed the first row, so my column name is the first row only. So now my first row is 1 Adrija and 80, so it has become my column names, and all the other rows has become my data frame values. I hope it is clear. So in that case, if I want to give my column names, see, here the column names are not there. In that case, if I want to give my column names, what shall I do? I will give names parameter. Names parameter will give the column names for different columns. So if I execute it, you can see my column names are A, B and C now, and all the rows has become my data values, data frame values. You can see there are 3 rows only, and if I don't give these names, then the first column will be first row of the CSV file will be taken as my data frame column names. If I don't give this first row of CSV file as my column name, then I can give here in name parameter. Fine. Second thing, if the file contains a header row, see, in this case the header row was not there, so I have defined my header row using names. If header row would be there, so and if I create this, then what will happen? You can see the column name has come, but the row which was as column names in my CSV file has become my data. So what I will do to remove this, to correct this, I will make header parameter as 0. That means make the start my data frame data values from row number 1 and make row number 0 as header, and I have changed the header name as A, B and C. You can see now, after executing it, my first row has gone and now my new column names are A, B and C. Now see one more parameter, index column, index underscore col. So what this will do, in some cases, see this example. There are three columns in this CSV file: roll number, name and percentage. And when I am creating my data frame, what is happening? These indexes of rows are coming by default from 0 up to number of rows minus 1. If I want that one of my column should become my index, then what I will do? I will provide index column as my column name. See again, if I want this, remove this first, or I will change here only. Df is equal to pd dot read csv, then sample dot csv. You can see this is my data frame. If I want this column index should become 1, 2 and 3, that is the roll number, that means my roll number column should become the indexes of data frame. Then what I will do, I will give the parameter index col as a column name, which I want that column should become the indexes of my data frame. Then execute it. Now you can see my data frame. This data frame has two columns, and now this data frame has one index roll number, that is 1, 2 and 3. The thing to remember here is that my roll number column has become index now. So I have only two columns remaining in my data frame. I don't have three columns now. I have two columns. This is index 1, 2 and 3, which was coming as 0, 1 and 2. It is now become as roll number 1, 2 and 3. So this is my data frame after changing the index. Here in the index column value, parameter value, you can give your index position also. You can give the column position of your data frame also. If I want my name column should become my index of data frame, then I will give as 1. If I want roll number to become my index, then I will give 0. If I want percentage to become my index, then I will give as 2. You can see, according to our need, we can change our index from our column. Another parameter is dtype. You can give data type to different columns of data frame according to your need. When you are taking the data from CSV, the data type of different columns will come by default. If you want to change those data type, you can change it. Let us see first. How to check data frame data types? We will see these attributes of data frame in our next videos. For this video only, you can consider that I can see different data types of different columns using df.datatypes. Let us execute this code. You can see I have created a df data frame. For that data frame, for roll number, I am having data type int64, name, object, and percentage int64. So how these data type come in existence? When we are loading the data from CSV, So Python see the data and give the data type automatically to those columns. You can see here that if I print df also, print, you can see this is my data frame and this is the data type. My roll number column is having data type int64, name column is having data type object, and percentage column is having data type int64. These are all the numpy data types, or this is my data frame data type. Data frame is an object, so it is giving object data type. If I want to change those data type, how can I change? There is one parameter, that is d type. In d type I can give my column name and my data type, required data type. So you can give, see this example, you can give your different columns and their data types. In this case I want to change the data type of percentage only. I want to change my percentage to be a float, so I am giving it as float. As of now it is integer. Now try to execute this column, this command, and see if my data type changes or not. So first what I am doing, I am creating my data frame which gives some default data type to different columns, and again I am changing my data types according to my need. Then I am printing my data frame, then I am seeing the data types. Let us execute it. So before changing the data type manually, the default data type was of percentage was int64. Now it has become float64, and you can see also that my data frame values has changed into float. This percentage column has changed into float. So this parameter is used to change the data type manually from default data types. So this was for read CSV. Till now what we are doing, we are reading the CSV file and we were creating the data frame. You can do the vice versa also. You can, if you are having some data frame in memory, you are running and creating some data frame, then if you want to extract it into some file, you can extract it using 2CSV function. This is 2CSV. This is the prototype. Again, don't worry for this long prototype. We will use some important parameters from them, from the list of parameters. We will use path or buffer, separator, columns, header, index. These parameters we will see. These are important. Again, if you want, you can go to Google and Python documentation. There you will find the explanation for each and every parameter, so you can explore by at your end. As of now, for you, these parameters only important for you. So first parameter is path or buffer. So what this 2CSV will do, 2CSV will convert my data frame into CSV file. So let us see. See, this is my data frame. I am creating a data frame now. I am creating a data frame with name and percentage. So this is my data frame with column name and percentage. This data frame I have created using dictionary of list. So for this data frame I have now created and I have performed some operations. Then I will find some new data frame. Then I will take that data frame into convert the data frame into CSV file. If I want to increase my percentage, if I want to increase percentage of different student by 5, then I will increase by this command. If you don't know this command, how to increase the percentage, we will discuss it in upcoming videos. That will be operations on data frame. So as of now, you learn this command, that this command will increase the percentage value of different students. So again we will print my df and see. You can see the old data frame was this. Now percentage of each student has increased by 5. If I want this new data frame to convert into my CSV file, then what I will do? There are again two things. If I give the CSV file directly, then it will create the CSV file in the current folder. If I want my CSV file to be somewhere in some other directory, then I have to give the absolute path. In relative path, let us execute this command and see if it is created or not. Yes, student underscore per dot csv has created. This was my file name, student underscore percentage per dot csv. So again, this parameter path or buffer is not compulsory. If you want, you can just give this command also in place of this. So this will also do the same thing as our previous command was doing. So now let us see what is in this CSV file. So you can see these are the data. There were two columns, so there are two columns with comma separated values, and these are the datas. Fine. If I want my file to be created on desktop, so what I will do? I will give the absolute path to my desktop. Again, there will be two backslashes every time. Let us execute it and see whether my file, yes, file is created on desktop, and see it is containing the same data. It is same file on desktop. It is in my current folder. So these are the two things. And another thing, what if I don't give any CSV file name? Then it will print on screen as a string. The data will be printed on a screen as a string. This was the to CSV path or buffer parameter. Now let us see separate parameter separator. You saw that my values were separated using commas by default. If I want to change this, I can change this using separator parameter. If I want to change my values to be separated by hashtag plus then again hashtag, then see if this was my data frame, then what will happen if I give separator as this. Let us execute it. It is giving some error. What is the error? Delimiter must be one character. Okay, so I cannot give more than one characters. The character should be one. So it has now executed. You can see all the values is now separated by hashtag. Fine. Let us see another parameter, that is columns. Till now you have seen that my full data frame was coming. If I want only one column, let us assume that I want only name column in my CSV file. I don't want other columns. So what I will do, I have one parameter columns where I can give the list of columns which I want. If I don't give this parameter, then it will give me all the columns. If I give my column name, then see what happens. See all that other column name has removed. now the name column name is coming only. Again I have header, a parameter. So here I am creating my data frame. What header will do? If I want header or not, header means column names in my CSV, if I want it or not. So with header, if I want column names, header means column names. If I want column names, you can see the column names were also coming before, name and your percentage. If I don't want them, then I will, if I want them, then I will give true. The default value is true. Let us execute this and see. Now these parameter names are, these column names are coming. If I don't want them, I will give header as false. Let us execute it. Now see, the column names has gone. So this is the header parameter. The next parameter is index. You can see these indexes are coming 0, 1 and 2. If I don't want these indexes, then I can give index parameter as true or false. If I give true, then my data in CSV will come with index. See, 0, 1 and 2. If I want to remove them, then I can give it as false. Now it has gone. If I don't want index as well as my column names, then I will give both the things as false. Now see, my data is coming only. So these were the read CSV and 2 CSV functions and their parameters. I hope it is clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in comments. If you want, you can see this video again, and if you are still having some doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.